Georg Kell, Executive Director of the United Nations Global Compact, speaks to China Daily in New York about how this initiative brings together businesses around the world to commit to corporate social responsibilities and its expanding network in China. Thank you very much, Mr. Kell, for joining us. Briefly introduce what the UN Global Compact is.
The UN Global Compact is what we call a corporate citizenship initiative. It tries to convince business leaders to embrace universal principles in the area of human rights, workplace, the environment, and anti-corruption, and to take action, positive action, to show that there's a business case in being ethical and in behaving sustainable. So we ask CEOs to sign on publicly to inform their employees, and once a year to demonstrate through a progress report how far they are advancing in implementation.
You just came back from Rio Plus 20 Sustainable Development Conference. So what can you tell us a little bit about your office involvement in Rio? What did you do? What did you achieve?
Yes, my office organized the biggest private sector business event there, Corporate Sustainability Forum, with 2,700 participants, 1,500 companies, and I'm very proud to tell you more than 100 from China, very top business leaders from China Development, Minmetal, Sinopec, and many others. And we met for 3 days, and we basically copied the official agenda, and we explored what can business do to advance sustainable development.
So when was this initiative introduced in China?
Actually, it's quite, I'm very proud about the fact that China was the first Asian network, and China, starting in 2001, supported the Global Compact, initially through the China Enterprise Confederation, CEC, but soon it attracted the attention of CEOs. And we have steadily been growing in China. Our network in China now, I believe, is nearly 300 large corporations and several other hundred participants. And they have very active work programs. They share best practices. They undertake collectively together activities. We're very ambitious. I think our network in China wants to double its number of participants within 2 to 3 years.
And I believe you have personal interactions with most of the CEOs from China. So what is your personal impression on them?
I'm totally impressed, I must say, with many of them. I actually was on various occasions tempted to go a bit into philosophy, trying to understand, yin and yang and the third force, and how I'm very impressed how leading CEOs actually mean what they say, how they are committed in implementing the principles of the compact, and how much they can actually move on that front. I'm very, very impressed.
This initiative has these many numbers. You mentioned like around 8,000 members from companies alone, from about 140 countries
Correct.
Around the world. This is a huge network around the world. And let's take China, for example. How do you make sure the member companies, in that part of the world, are doing what they've promised when they join this?
I should add, in every part of the world, because business everywhere faces the same dilemmas and the same challenges, and sometimes business is great in promising things and then not delivering. So what we have done over the past couple of years, we have introduced very strict accountability procedures, and one of them is an annual disclosure requirement. Participants have to demonstrate in public how they implement their commitment to the Global Compact. We call this a communication on progress. And companies which don't do a communication on progress actually are being delisted. They're being expelled from the initiative. And already, unfortunately, we had to expel more than 3,000 companies worldwide, equally distributed north, south, east, west. The good news now is that the companies that are now engaged are very serious, and they know it's a commitment they need to honor, and they understand that engaging in the Global Compact makes them stronger.
Does the private sector really care about, earlier you mentioned the 10 principles, and how can a voluntary initiative like this really be effective?
as a voluntary initiative, the Global Compact can never be a substitute for government actions. And we always make very clear what we do is a complement. It reinforces positive energy, good intention. It's not a substitute, it's a complement. I do believe that with global integration and business being so much integrated into the global value chain, business increasingly understands that it makes sense for business to also be part of the solution for social and environmental issues. So there's increasingly an overlap of public goods interests and private interests. And the smart CEOs recognize that this shared value concept of public interest and private interest is actually very important and very powerful. It's not that business is totally redefining itself, but business is understanding that being part of the solution for public goods priorities such as poverty, water, energy, climate is also in their interest because it makes them stronger, better in terms of reputation. It helps them to build markets of the future, and more generally speaking, it strengthens competitiveness at the global level. So it's a recipe for success.